Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Hello, and welcome back to Freaky Fauna Fridays. Woo!
Yippee, it's Friday, guys.
It's Friday.
Celebrate.
I am the great and powerful Mr. E,
And I am Jay.
and today we're talking about a real freak.
Oh, yes. This is going to be a guide to your
His
nature
name
fix.
is Jensen.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Now, we're going to talk about the pangolin snail, a.k.a. the ironclad snail.
Ooh, I didn't know penguins came in snail.
Pangolin.
Oh,
Pangolin.
pangolin.
Like the big armored scales. And speaking of big armored scales, so most snails have what's called a foot, which is their actual, like, the bottom of them is what's called the foot. It's how they move around.
Like that sticky, slimy part that leaves a
Yeah,
trail.
it's a group of muscles that kind of crawls along, but it uses the slime as like a lubricant to go around.
Okay.
But on the back of the foot, there's the door, which is like that hard piece when snails go in, it closes behind them.
Oh, okay.
So when they go inside their shell, that hard piece is called the door.
Closes it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not all snails have that, but a lot of species do. Some bigger ones don't because they can't get all the way into their shells anyways.
Okay. Too big of a door it would need.
Yeah. So this is kind of an adaptation on top of it. So these snails are fairly big for snails. I don't know if anybody's ever seen classic garden snails, but a couple inches long, and they fit in your palm of your hand pretty easy.
Right. Yeah.
But these guys actually eat a lot of iron sulfide pyrite, or iron sulfide pyrite. Sorry.
Iron sulfide pyrite.
Yes.
Isn't
So this
pyrite,
is a mineral that's coming out of volcanic vents at the bottom of the ocean.
Isn't pyrite fool's gold?
Fool's gold, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they are eating this, and they're actually, it's weird because they don't actually eat anything. Yeah, I'll get to that. But so they're eating this mineral to grow these big iron scales on their skin. So they actually swallow this stuff, push it through their skin, and make these giant interlocking scales. It's crazy. It really is. These animals are eating metal, pushing it through their skin to make armor. Now, back to what I said. That's not the only freaky thing about them. Would you believe that?
That seems like pretty freaky.
It's not. They don't eat.
Okay, I guess that's pretty freaky too. So what do you mean when they ingest it? What are they doing?
So they are, quote unquote, eating that, but they're not eating that for sustenance.
Okay.
They're eating that to put armor in their skin.
Kind of like how
They don't eat for sustenance.
Like a chicken will eat a stone just to have it in its gullet to chew things up?
In the crop to help grind.
Right.
Kind of like that.
Just swallowing it.
They actually have a really advanced esophagus, and they grow a kind of bacterial coliform in there that the sulfuric water that they are drinking all the time, basically it's flowing through them.
Yeah.
The bacteria in their throat are eating that.
Oh.
And the bacteria are pushing nutrients into the snail's skin.
Ooh, so the bacteria are the freaky parts.
Yes.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Where are these things located?
The bottom of the ocean on thermal vents.
Okay.
I'll get to that in a second because there's the more freaky stuff.
Because I don't want people to get the idea like there's a garden snail outside.
No, these are
right
deep
now.
sea snails.
Yeah, eating this mineral.
But no, so these guys literally are, they have their own biome inside of them. Their only job is to protect the stuff inside of them because that's what feeds them.
Ah, okay.
It's super weird. Now, back to where they live. So we found these guys on 13 different volcanic vent areas. They're a relatively new discovery. I believe it was 2010-ish is when some of the first ones were being found. And one set of volcanic vents can have completely isolated species. That's kind of weird to think there's like maybe 10 of these columns.
Yeah.
There's species that are only ever found on that volcanic vent.
That specific column.
Yes.
Okay.
So each one of these volcanic vents have a slightly different pangolin snail. But most of these snails, how hot do you think of water they're living in? So there's all kinds, like where it's coming out of the vent, it's sometimes 4,000 or 5,000 degrees. But when you move a couple feet away, it drops significantly.
Right.
So there's animals you can actually see, they'll stagger. That some of these animals can't handle this temperature of water, so they don't go past this line. So you see like little shrimp will run away from crabs because they can handle the heat and the crabs can't.
Yeah.
I literally saw one crab that got too close and it fell apart because it boiled alive.
That's insane.
Literally, the armor, everything just fell apart.
That's insane. Yeah, we gotta have a 24/7 camera on one of
There's
those.
there's a couple of them. Well, not
Really?
24/7, but there's a couple of them that have cameras on deep sea vents. What do you think the temperature these guys are normally comfortable at?
Like 400 degrees, something I guess.
750 degrees is
Oh,
where most of these guys have lived.
Okay,
But we've seen them in water that's close to 1,000.
that's insane.
So keep in mind, aluminum melts at 700 degrees.
Okay.
These snails are comfortable in temperatures above that.
That's crazy how life can just adapt to things like that.
Metal melts at temperatures lower than what they like to live in.
That's craziness. Well, yeah, aluminum. I can't think of the other metals.
Iron doesn't melt till I think it's like 1,500 degrees.
Okay.
So that's a good reason. That's why they build their armor out of it.
Right. It makes sense. Yeah.
And it's also very, very available.
Right.
But I've seen there's each of these subspecies will be dramatically different colors because the compounds they're eating are slightly different. The most common one, if you type in penguin snail or ironclad snail, it'll be like kind of a blackish snail with big black scales. There's one volcanic vent that produces white ones.
That's pretty sweet.
They're all white. The scales are white, the skin's white, the shell's white.
It sounds all white to me. So dumb.
But yeah, another weird thing. These guys have no eyes.
Oh, okay.
They've evolved out of their eyes, which is weird for a snail.
Yeah.
Even most mollusks have eyes. Scallops have eyes. Snails have eyes. Slugs have eyes.
I just found that out. Scallops have a whole bunch
of blue eyes.
Yeah,
they're really pretty eyes.
I did not know that till like recently this year.
Yeah, it's hard. People and these scallops are really good swimmers.
Oh yeah,
they fly. But anyways,
let's
back
stay
to
on
the
the snails.
Yeah,
The pangolins.
no eyes. And the reason we think that, not because it's just dark down there, because some of the deep sea life has no eyes, some of it does.
Right, like deep cave creatures.
Yeah, it's very similar. But we think they evolved out of their eyes just due to the water temperatures and the acid in the water they're living in.
That makes sense.
And keep in mind, this water is extremely acidic. They are literally eating a sulfide.
Right, yeah.
Which, there's...
Will kill you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it would kill you.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, true. Okay.
So the water down there is full of iron sulfide pyrite.
Yeah.
There's fool's gold in metal in the water.
And now something's eating it.
Yeah.
And using it. That's nuts.
And we don't know anything. That's pretty much what we know about them. There's no live specimens on the surface because it's hard to keep 750-degree water.
That is true. I wonder if you could no, you probably couldn't. I'm gonna say somehow acclimate them to cooler and cooler water. But
I don't know if you could or couldn't.
I wonder how long do you know how long they stay alive?
I have no idea. I don't think they know. There's really long-lived snails. There's really short-lived snails. So it could it could be either way.
Has
It
the
could
whole
be
range.
and the deep sea organisms normally live a lot longer than their shallow water counterparts.
Interesting.
There's not a lot of snails in the ocean either. It's kind of weird. You see a lot of slugs or a lot of shellless mollusk like that.
What's
in
a
that
sea
family.
cucumber?
Not a mollusk.
Neither.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember what family they belong to. They are an animal.
Right.
They're just a really weird one.
Here's a thought.
I think they're in the same family as sea pigs and stuff like that.
Sea pigs.
That'll be another episode way down the road.
Is this snail what? I don't know. Did it choose to live here, or did the whatever bacteria infect the host and mind control it to start eating this stuff?
I'm going to say
itself?
it was the snail because the snail literally has a specially evolved esophagus to house the bacteria, not the other way around.
Well, what if the bacteria took hold there, and then it's you know what? We need to fortify this thing up.
I don't think so. I think it was a snail.
Okay.
But it's just weird. You don't see a lot of. There's cone snails and stuff like that, and you think of shallow water snails. Mm-hmm. There's many, many, many more sea slugs
Than snail.
Yeah.
Than sea snails. Yeah, you never hear about snee.
But then in
sea
freshwater,
snails.
it's almost the exact opposite.
More snails than slugs.
Yeah. I'm sure there is freshwater slugs. I'm drawing a blank. I can't name one.
It sounds gross.
But there's tons and tons of snails.
Yeah, it's true.
But not many slugs. There's even, that's another weird one, there's even one aquatic scorpion left on the planet.
Ooh.
That'll be one later down the road.
A future freaky fauna Friday. Huh, yeah, so the ironclad snail.
Yeah, real easygoing guy.
Yeah, I didn't know any creature out there had a iron shell growing on it that it's creating itself.
Iron skin.
Iron skin, yeah.
Yeah, it still has its shell. Its shell's just a normal shell. If you think about it, the shell's probably the weakest part of the animal.
Doesn't even make sense. It's got it all backwards.
It's getting there.
Life sure finds a way.
Life finds a way. All right, remember, go into your weekend positive thoughts, positive vibes. Enjoy the sunlight. Get some sunlight on your skin. It's good for you to an extent.
It is. Vitamin D. We're all vitamin D deficient. We need some.
Especially Jay.
Oh, especially me.
Jay
I take
is whiter than a
supplements for it.
ghost.
Hey, I like that way. I like my porcelain skin.
I like my poor.
I
Like
learned
the
to-
British royalty.
Not like that. That's like pale, like lifeless skin.
All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. Peace be with you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.